Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to News Dose. And a concern was brought forth today regarding the Xbox Series S. On one side, the Xbox Series S has been a great next-generation entry option for consumers, and a lot of fans, they love it for its high frame rate, its blazingly fast load times, its affordability, and even its ray tracing capabilities. But at the same time, there is now a studio seemingly blaming the Xbox Series S on why their game is right now, as of this moment, missing an Xbox version. Now, there's actually some good news with this report as well, because they could actually change that. So we're going to get into all of that today and exactly what's happening here. Also, and this is a little bit of a weird story, but quietly one of the biggest announcements yesterday was not at the PlayStation State of Play and is actually going a little bit unnoticed. So we're going to fix that today as well. As always, though, we do have a lot of things to talk about. Do keep those timestamps in mind if you want to skip around and everything. But yeah, let's just go and get right into our first topic of the day, starting off with Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah, you know, somewhere out there, there's supposedly this boycott for this game and everything, but I don't think that it was very successful because they just revealed some absolutely monstrous numbers. Hogwarts Legacy has now officially sold 12 million units in just its first 2 weeks alone, which in return has garnered $850 million in revenue. Now, just to kind of put that into perspective, Hogwarts Legacy right now is selling even faster than last year's breakout hit being Elden Ring, which sold 12 million in 17 days. Now, that game just eclipsed 20 million sold as of just a few days ago. Big congrats to Elden Ring and From Software. I adore that game. But when it comes to Hogwarts Legacy, all the tea leaves are here. If it wasn't already written in stone, it definitely is now. Hogwarts Legacy will without a doubt be one of the best-selling games this year, if not just the best-selling game, period. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, it's already sold 12 million units on just the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and the PC, and it still has more platforms to launch on. It's still set to release on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 this April, and while it won't sell as much on those devices per se, it'll still see another sell spike there, and then, yet again, when it releases for the Nintendo Switch. So yeah, big congrats to Hogwarts Legacy and all the developers that worked on this game. I genuinely do think that it's a good game, and it's really just nice to see the Harry Potter universe kind of live on in a new way than what we're kind of used to. Now, we also have some Xbox expansions to talk about today, first of which is that Forza Horizon 5 is about ready to get even better than what it already is. I mean, here you have debatably one of the best racing games ever made as is, but over time, they've also added even more content, such as the Hot Wheels expansion. Definitely go check that out if you haven't already. And then to add to that, they just announced a Rally Adventure expansion as well. This is set to release on March 29th and comes with a load of new content, including an all-new area to explore being Sierra Nueva. Here you can explore 6 new biomes, such as a forest that's entirely destructible. There's multiple new towns, it has canyons, it has new secrets, of course a whole new campaign, there's 10 plus new cars, and much, much more. Yeah, this is actually quite a beefy add-on, and much like their previous expansions, it does largely emphasize a new way to play around. This time though, the focus being on rally racing. So yeah, if you like Forza Horizon 5 and you want even more content, this is looking like a really good expansion here, and again, it will be out on March 29th. Now, as for this other Xbox game, Halo Infinite is set to get its biggest update yet, alongside Season 3 Echoes Within. And I actually was really impressed with some of the things that they showed in the trailer of it. I mean, Halo Infinite is a good game after all. That's never really been its problem. It just needs new content. We've talked about this before, but it does seem like they're addressing some of that with this particular update. It includes 3 new maps to our arena. One is for Big Team Battle. Then on top of that, they're adding a community collection playlist with maps built in Forge. And there was some great ones in this trailer, including a bigger-than-life room to play in. The quality of some of these maps are just absolutely fantastic. So I think that additional alone is going to go a long way in giving Halo Infinite more content. But they also added a new weapon, new equipment, a new game mode being Escalation, and they're even adding some new story cutscenes as well. So yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. It really does look like their best update yet, and it will be out on March 7th. Now, Nintendo, they also gave us an update on what to expect from them at E3 this year, or actually, in this case, what not to expect. They did confirm their absence at this year's E3, with them saying, "We approach our involvement in any event on a case-by-case basis and are always considering various ways to engage with our fans. Since this year's E3 show didn't fit into our plans, we have made the decision to not participate. However, we have been and continue to be a strong supporter of the ESA and E3." So yeah, I don't really find this to be overly surprising, as I suspect is the case with most people. This was rumored a few weeks back, so it's not like this came out of nowhere or anything like that, but I'd say more so, something that we have seen in recent years is that these platform holders don't necessarily need to rely on E3 the same way that they used to. I mean, Nintendo, they've been having success with their own digital directs since 2012. So E3 for them has been more about the brand name and them reserving booth space than anything else. This year, though, it just looks like they're not going to do that. However, and I thought this was interesting, but they did leave the door open for future E3, so maybe next year, possibly. Who knows? But in the meantime, Ubisoft has already confirmed their presence at E3 2023, and it's also starting to sound like Konami will be there as well. So we will have an E3 this year. It'll just be a lot different without the platform holders there. I know that's kind of the main traction, but all things considered, I really wouldn't be shocked if we get digital events from them around the summer months as well. I mean, I can definitely see both Nintendo and Xbox having a summer digital showcase, and PlayStation, while they seem to like that September month, there is a rumor that they might have an event around this time frame as well. Okay, so let's just go into the big story here, and this is in regards to the Baldur's Gate 3 situation. A lot of fans were surprised yesterday when Baldur's Gate 3 was announced as a PlayStation 5 console exclusive. I mean, this is a beloved series from a highly talented studio, so at the time, a lot of people seemed to suspect that maybe Sony might have money-hatted it as some type of timed exclusive deal. They've done that a lot in recent years, especially when it comes to the Final Fantasy series, so maybe, just maybe, they locked down Baldur's Gate 3 as well. But no, that's actually not the case at all. Larian Studios has since confirmed that they have no exclusive contract with anybody, and that they're free to release it on whatever platform that they choose. So if that's the case, why exactly is there no Xbox version? Well, I got some good news, and then I also got some bad news. Now, we'll just go and start with the bad. Let's just go and rip off the Band-Aid, because Larian Studios is seemingly blaming the Xbox Series S for the lack of an Xbox version as of right now. However, that's the key phrase here, as of right now. And in this is where the good news comes in. They also confirmed that they are indeed working on an Xbox version. More on that in just a second, but first, let's just go take a look at their full statement, which reads, "Following yesterday's PS5 and release date announcement, we've clarified that right now, we're planning to release Baldur's Gate 3 for PC, Mac, GeForce Now, and PlayStation 5. That said, we have no exclusivity for which platforms we can bring Baldur's Gate 3 to, or when, and will announce support for additional platforms if and when we're ready. We're seeing a lot of varied interpretations of what that means, so we wanted to clarify further. We've had an Xbox version of Baldur's Gate 3 in development for some time now. We've run into some technical issues in developing the Xbox port that have stopped us feeling 100% confident in announcing it until we're certain we found the right solutions. Specifically, we've been unable to get split-screen co-op to work to the same standard on both Xbox Series X and S, which is a requirement for us to ship. There's no platform exclusivity preventing us from releasing Baldur's Gate 3 on Xbox day and date, should that be a technical possibility. If and when we announce further platforms, we want to make sure each version lives up to our own standards and expectations." So there it is. They are seemingly pointing to some type of technical issue with the Xbox Series S and its requirement to ship on the Xbox Series X as well. Now, this obviously has brought forth a question that a lot of fans have already kind of asked in the past, and that's whether or not the Xbox Series S will be an issue the further we get into the generation. While the Xbox Series S is a great console for its price, it is still a big gap compared to the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X in terms of raw power. So the question that some fans out there have is, will it have a hard time keeping up? I'd say that thus far it hasn't really been a problem, and I think it's mostly proven its worth this generation. But anytime that you hear a situation like this, that question will inevitably be brought up. Now, I know some people will point out that Baldur's Gate 3 can run on the GTX 970, so the Xbox Series S theoretically should have no issue there. Its CPU is also more than capable, but from the sounds of it, the bigger issue might actually be with its RAM. The Xbox Series S only has 10 gigabytes of RAM, and that might be the issue with split screen. Keep in mind that we're not talking about the single player component. It sounds like that probably works perfectly fine on the Xbox Series S, but right now, as things stand, they're trying to work on its split screen. At the same time, though, and here's the thing, developers within Larian has been adamant, very, very adamant, that they are indeed working on it, and in fact, it's still completely possible that it could release the exact same day as the PlayStation 5 version on August 31st. That has not been ruled out yet. They just kind of want to dot their I's and cross their T's before confirming anything. With that in mind, though, I think what will happen here is that Baldur's Gate will release on the Xbox Series at some point, whether that's on August 31st or after. Either way, I do imagine that they'll figure out the optimizations that they need to. Let me know what you all think about this entire situation, though. It seems like there's a lot of complexity behind it, so let me know what you all think about this in the comments below. Moving on, though, and like I said before, this is a strange story, but one of the biggest games announced yesterday was actually not at the State of Play. In fact, this game didn't even get a reveal trailer or anything. Rather, this happened on a Warner Brothers earnings call out of all places, where the CEO announced that Mortal Kombat 12 is set to release this year. Yeah, he mentioned that it has ambitious launch projections in 2023. So, I mean, there you go, I guess. Certainly a weird way to announce a game. I imagine that he did this by accident without thinking about it. But by all indication, it does look like Mortal Kombat 12 is coming rather soon. I mean, to be fair, I think that we all kind of knew that Mortal Kombat 12 was eventually coming. That wasn't really a question at all. But it is a little bit of a surprise to hear that it might be coming in 2023. That's what kind of threw me off, and with that in mind, a more official reveal might be around the corner. I mean, E3 is around the corner. You also have the Summer Game Fest, which is coming, and I'm sure both Xbox and PlayStation will have some type of showcase planned as well. So yeah, I certainly think that there's a good chance that we'll see Mortal Kombat 12 relatively soon. Hey, if anything, I mean, if this all turns out to be true, it's a good year for the FGC. I mean, Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat 12 possibly releasing the exact same year. Fun times ahead. Let's go take a look at the poll of the day, though, where I asked you all, what's your impression of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League? Of course, we got that big gameplay reveal at yesterday's PlayStation State of Play. And, well, as you can see here, 9% of you all said it looks good, 43% being the majority says it looks okay, but not necessarily great. Then 29% of you said it looks bad. So it doesn't look like very many of you all came away as overly impressed during this big gameplay reveal. And honestly, as I said yesterday, I am with you all in this one. I don't think that it looks bad. Like you all said, I do think that it looks okay, but it's not necessarily the style of game that I like. Now, to be fair, I'm not necessarily big into the DC universe, so I'm already probably not necessarily the target crowd or anything. But even if this wasn't the DC universe, I felt like the gameplay, it just kind of reminds me of Crackdown. Actually, about that, I saw several of you all in the comments actually say that it reminds you of Crackdown as well. So I'm really happy that I'm not the only one that thought that. But, I mean, I'm not really a big fan of Crackdown, so I didn't come away as overly impressed by what they showed with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now, I still hope that it turns out to be great. Rocksteady in the past has put out some great games with the Arkham series, and we're kind of hoping that this game will turn out to be really good as well, and hopefully it does. But I think so far, it just hasn't come away as super impressive. Now, that's not to say that it won't turn out to be a lot of fun. This game might come out and be absolutely fantastic. I mean, we'll see. But in terms of the gameplay that they've shown so far, I just think that it looks okay. I'm definitely with you all on that one. Anyways, though, that's it for this episode. But if you like the video, don't forget to bell notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Also, if you'd like to support the channel through Patreon, thank you for making this content possible. Peace out.